Hello and welcome to a new stream. For everybody that has been here before, I worked on some overlay. I tried to integrating Visual Studio a little bit more in it. So that should work. If you have any tips or any suggestions about how to improve it, feel free to post them in the chat. And let's get started. For the people that don't know, last stream we added authentication. So if I go now to out/logout, not login, because that's not gonna work. .out/logout will be logged out, and now we can choose our provider that we want to use to log in. Now we are logged in. The to-do list is here. We can edit everything, and also we added some animations. So if we hover over our logo, it makes two turns and gets a little bit bigger. So yeah, that's what we did last stream. So this stream I wanted to add some coffee with some great loader animations, and we'll probably get there, and after that we will be working on multiple lists. So we now have to do and complete it, but yeah, you can create whatever list you want. And so if you need a personal list and one for your work or for your groceries, you can just create one and keep everything organized. So let's get started. Yeah, the way I want to use coffee is some site called Lottie files, and they're basically cool animations that you can add to your HTML. No clue what Elementor is, but also Apple and Android, and you can basically add some interactivity, and you can like so let's get started on it. Here in the chat, and let's say hi. I know you're there. So let's click on HTML. So this will create some HTML for you. You can change the speed, example 5, so it walks really fast. Let's keep it at 1. And you can just copy this. And now we need this to load the player, and this is just a JSON. So let's copy this and go to our Visual Studio. So the place I wanted it to be added was if you go to our To-Do app, you see this loader. Now it's pretty fast, but sometimes it's a bit slower. As we're using Azure Functions, it could be that the function needs to warm up. So we get a cold start, it takes a bit longer. And then it's pretty cool if you could have a little bit cleaner animation. Oh, my Visual Studio was crashing already, but it's up now. Let's figure out. Yeah, the loader is here. So now we have just a simple loader class, but that's no fun. So let's remove the loader. And move this to the index.html as it shouldn't be in the code itself. Now we can use it everywhere. So if we change the startup, let's start it. Let's also start the terminal, as we also want to watch it. So for next time we don't have to watch it build. Let's go to the repo. If you have any questions about what we're doing, feel free to ask them in the chat, or any other questions about the project, or any other Blazor. Yeah, so the loader works, but welcome Tineke. Hi, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good. But we're still seeing the player. There is control, so that's something in the HTML. The controls, so if we remove that. So let's get this started. Tineke says, thank you. Doing good, how about you? Yeah, I'm doing amazing. And she's doing the dishes in the meantime. So that's pretty, I think, less good, but it's always good when they're done. Let's not go to, let's go to our local. So now it's showing it walk. Want to do a little bit more with it, so let's add some text for now. 1 second as we're... Yes, I know the feeling of leaving your dishes out too long. I have a dishwasher now, so that's better, but thank you. Tineke says the new layout looks really good. Really appreciate it. Do you guys have any idea for a really good catchy text we could paste as under the walking for when we're loading? Like John also lost the dishwasher. Well, loading your to-do items. Let me grab coffee. Let's see how this looks. So we get an error as our backend isn't running, so that's fine. This doesn't look quite right yet. So let's fix that. Let's see if we can paste it under it. And I think it should be a little bit higher. So hide the screen. Let's see if we can do something for that. John asks, what's on the to-do list? Just a second too late. But I wanted to spice up the loading screens with coffee, and we also make it dynamically, so there are a few of them, like... Oh, it was on the first page of this one. We could add some tacos and some hamburgers. And after that we will be working on a multiple list. And that will also be the start of list sharing. but I thought that multiple lists is kind of necessary for sharing. Well, it's a good start for it at least. I believe high.full wouldn't work. I think we tested that already. Try it again. No, now it's at the top. Let's see some margin. Aristelia says, for the text under here, don't mind me. Just grabbing a copy while it loads. So, the while it loads I added myself, but I think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? But I think we should move this to a separate component, so we can use it on different places. So let's call this loader component, and add the .razor, so it gets loaded with our razor page, and let's make it partial. A razor component, and let's call it loader. Let's nest it nicely. So let's copy this here, and let's place this here, and still check if it's still works as intended. No, of course not, as we didn't add it back in. That looks good. Any ideas for the talking, for the walking taco and the talking burger as for the text? As I wanna make it randomized, so you get a different one every time. So let's create a class in the loader component that will move it to the models later, but loader item. So this will create the string and the text. John says, "Are you talking to me? Taco to me?" Whoa, that was really hard to read. Sorry. Yeah, good. Tineke says you can also say, just a sec, I gotta comment those errors or something like that. Yeah, that's also good. That's a string, and let's call this URL. And prop string is the text, of course. So let's refactor this and move this to the move to another file. And let's refactor this again as it's not in the right place. Move to another folder also. Let's do this in models. So this is still empty. And now hello, welcome defensive pin to the chat. How are you doing? Let's create a factory, and this factory is gonna be called loader item factory, and let's public loader item create random item. So this is just gonna create a random loader item for us. Defensive pin, very good. How about you? Yeah, I'm doing amazing. Good to hear you. Good. How's the progress on your project going? Did you fix your database issues already? So let's create a random number. I believe we need to make a randomizer. And then random dot next, and our min value is 0 and our max value is 2 for now, as we want 3 options. Defensive. John asked defensive pin how it's going and if he already had the chance to try some stuff. And defensive pin didn't have much time, hoping to get back on it tonight. Good to hear. If you have any questions, know that we're here and we're happy to help. So let's create a switch for this, and let's welcome Koyo. I hope that I pronounced that correctly. If not, let me feel free to tell me how to do. But what we're doing is right now we're adding some prettier loading screens to our app, as the default ones that let me show it here. And we're creating To-Do. We created a To-Do app. So here you see the loading screen. And yeah, you're just gonna add, let's add you to the loading list. Oh, I typed it incorrect. I believe that's it. Yeah. Now let's make it a high priority. And yeah, you can edit it, change priority, delete them, It also there's authentication behind it. So if you go to out/logout, you can see you can use Twitter, Google, Microsoft, and Facebook, and just gonna press one, and we use that service to log you in, and then you get your list back. So if I try to be lazy, but if we log in with Google, we get another ID as yeah, it's a different user, so you get a different list. And you can also log in on your phone on any PC you want with that account, and you have everything in it. We're using Azure Functions for that with Blazor. Have you ever used Blazor? Let's create a constructor for this one. He says I'm a beginner with Blazor, but I love it too. That's the answer most people give. It's good to hear that someone is enjoying Blazor. Have you built anything with it, or just be doing the tutorials, or whatever? At what point are you? So let's go to our loader component and copy this text. And also this JSON. Maybe we can make this. No, that's fine. Case. No. Gojo doesn't have any. I've been using C# with Unity 3D for 2 years now. Oh, that's a lot of times. That's longer than I got my degree. So let's create a new loader. John was saying, are you tacoing to me? Let's add this here. Let's find the URL for the taco. Gojo, if you have any questions about Blazor or what we're doing, feel free to ask them. But if you just have Blazor questions, you can also ask them in the chat, and we'll be happy to help or point you to a place that will help you. Return new loader item with the burger. And this should be the text. So if you also want to use this those files, go to here, and if you find any cool ones, post them in the chat with a catchy remark, and we maybe add them to the list. Let's do it the correct way. Just a sec, got those errors away. Yeah, we can also do the people want the stress away. So now, oh wait, we're not. Gojo, good question. What are you using to sign up with Google and Twitter? That's a very good question. You're using ASP.NET Identity right now. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. We use that for our main application at work, but I'm using to host this application. I'm using Azure Static Web Apps that just serve files, but they also contain Azure Functions, and it's completely free. And it has easy authentication in it, and that means that as long as you're going to out/login/ the name of the provider, it handles the authentication for you, and then you can check it at the out/me, or in the Azure Functions it's added in the header request. So for this app we're keeping it really simple, and we let the authentication be handled by someone else, somebody way smarter than us. Let's go back to our local site. It's not running, and that's also correct. Default should be. I don't want to do too much with the error. Gojo, thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you, man. I stream every Monday and Wednesday from 7 till 10 CT. So that works, and ReSharper's now gonna say let's switch this up. So now when it's 0 we return this. It's just a little bit cleaner. And now let's make an interface for this. So we use ReSharper for this, and I can just instruct the interface, and this will create an interface for us, and then we remove it. And now I am adding it to the interfaces. I'm just moving it so it's nice and clean. So let's fix the namespace, and then we're done. So now we can go to our startup. It's called program, sorry. Let's go to our program and to the services. And now we want to make sure it's record in the dependency injection scope. So iLoader item factory. Oh, not called iLoader. Needs to be the iLoader. And implement the references. Loader item factory. So now we can go to our component, and override on initialize. And let's create a loader item as a property. Yeah, loader item is fine. And here we can say we also need to inject the factory, of course. My bad, inject. Loader factory. So this will create or inject the loader factory when this object gets initialized, and we'll create a random item, and we set it here. So now we need to make sure that it uses it. So let's do it here. Loader item dot URL and loader. Let's not screw up the HTML. Loader item dot text. So let's see that builds. That's very good. I believe I see a few new people in the chat. Nevik, welcome, and you act welcome. Hope you're doing amazing, and welcome to the stream. Are you talking to me? Maybe we should center them. Are we only getting tacos? No, we got coffee. Coffee, I want the burger. Give me the burger. I don't think it is... I believe I made a small mistake in my loader factory. Not the iLoader, but let's go here. Go to an implementation. Oh, it includes the min value, but not the max value. So this should be 3. Jan says he wants to laugh every time he sees the "Are you talking to me?" And the burger is now also here. So I think that those are just some fun additions and just make loading a little bit easier and less annoying. What do you guys think? So let's go to our loader components HTML and give the span some HTML. Navik 1988, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I really appreciate the follow. If you have any questions about the Blazor, the stream, our project, or what we're doing right now, feel free to ask that in the chat. Let's make the text a little bit bigger and text center and width dot full. Not sure why I got that error. Let's see if that looks better. So we should also center this one. We can also remove this, and let's give it a flexbox. Justify center, I believe. I'm getting used to it. Nope, that isn't the way. Let me see. Width dot full. Inspect. Let's. Nevik, hi, nice to meet you. Watch your stream, really helpful. I just started with Blazor clients and identity server 4. Good to hear you enjoy the stream and that you enjoy Blazor. At least I hope you enjoy Blazor as you just started it. If you have any questions about Blazor, feel free to ask them. I've been working with Blazor for over a year now. Not full time, but I created a pretty big application with it, and we're now also working on converting one of our biggest application with Blazor one page at a time, and adding some really cool stuff in it. So this is a div. See if we can fix this at Tailwind. Justify content. Justify center should be in the middle. If I make this the div, I don't think it will. Not sure why Visual Studio is screwing with me with let's see if this works. I'm not that good at HTML and CSS, so hope all you can forgive me if I do stupid stuff. Maybe we can make it specify content. Can we specify how many rows? Or we can give this the width dot full text center. I was wondering why that wasn't loading, but that didn't fix it. Too bad. I'm also wondering why this is at the top and this. Oh, it's because it's next to it. Of course. Oh, I'm screwing up my URL. We can like look at the grids maybe. Maybe align content. Flex content start. Nope, that isn't what we wanted. Place content. maybe we don't need the flex and the center. Maybe we can achieve it with width dot full and place content center. Or maybe we can make a, let me try this. We make it a grid and a grid with one column, so they all should move below each other, and then place content center. I hope this isn't only for the, yeah, that looks good to me. A burger away keeps the stress away. Oh, wait, this is this one isn't playing fair. Well, leave it for now. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But we added some... Are you talking to me? Maybe we should make a funnier one for the coffee and a little bit slower, shorter. And we also have... we go to the loader factory. Don't mind me twice, so... oh no, it's not twice, but... do it like this. Just grabbing coffee while it loads. If you wanna any other really cool animations, you can go to lootyhouse.com. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but I'll post a link in chat. And if you see something cool that we can add as a loader, that's kind of in theme with our food. It doesn't have to be food, but like walking people or objects or whatever. Feel free to post them in the chat and we can take a look if we to add them. So for now, let's see if we can a walking hop lenses. John, let's maybe have some for hop. I don't think that's right. I think you need to make it. Also, most assets on this page are free, but they have some. They have a marketplace with paid ones. But if you want to see something like this or like this, we could just add it and make it think a little bit cooler. John says, oof, my design skills are probably worse than yours. Maybe our Steel Leaf can make one. He can try. Well, I'm not really sure what they're using. Can take a quick look. Let's preview, no. Or maybe. I'm not even, oh. I think they use the After Effects. I don't even have that. For my photos I use the free GIMP, so and I'm sort of getting used to it, but I'm not pro yet, so that's something to work on. But maybe in the future. Also wanna create some cool emotes or alerts for new followers that when you follow instead of the big black and white thing, it pops up with the build solution, and it shows that someone new has followed, and then it goes away again. But that's a lot of work, and I'm looking into some stuff, but I'm working on it. But if you have any experience in After Effects and want to help me out, feel free to say it in the chats, or contact me via Twitter or anything else. So for now, we are gonna try to make multiple lists for each user. So for that we need to make a new page, probably that people can edit and create, and yeah, do all those kinds of things for their lists, and maybe even show how many, but that's something for later. And yeah, let's work on that. So first I'm gonna grab something new to drink, and I'll be back in a few seconds. Hello and welcome back, everybody. I'm back, and let's continue about adding more pages to your app. So I clicked away my solution explorer, so that isn't very good. Oh, there's view. I was like, where's view? But I found it. So let's create a page for this. Well, maybe we should do something first. Let's create a folder. Add folder, to-do lists, but they're gonna have the same name. To-do list items. So we want to move the to-do list component, the to-do list item component, and the new to-do list to the to-do list items. and this is gonna destroy a lot, and we can fix that by adding it into our imports. So just using todo dot pages dot todo items. And now if we go to our todo items, we also need to fix the namespace of this one, of the classes behind them, as otherwise they're not the same class. So that's looking good. Just a little bit more order, as the following item is also gonna be called to-do list. And let's create a component for this. A Razor component, and let's call this to-do list overview lists. So now we created this, and let's remove this all. And we also want a class, of course. So if you're new to this, we're creating a class called to-do list overview lowercase lists. I need to type this correct, otherwise it's not gonna work. Component.razor.cs. So because we used razor.razor.cs, it gets under the same tree structure as this one. And now we just make this a partial class, and we're good. So go to our models. We have a to-do item, but also create a new item called to-do list. To-do list. This should probably have an ID. And a name. I don't think we want to save all the items in it yet. Maybe we do that later to save the order or something. But now we just know that they exist, and that we can add them and edit in and change the name. But this way, because we use the ID, we can also change the name without having effect on anything. So let's go here and let's go to our other component called the new, as we can copy 90% of it. To do how I have insert on, so that's gonna break it. No, we don't need that model. To do list. So if you're new in the chat, feel free to say hi. I see that Ipone is here, so welcome. And Lieselotte and Tessie, welcome back. It was good to see you again. How are you doing, Tessie? Yes, en Lotje. So let's go to our class and create a property for the list. Not a list, but to-do list. Okay, it wants to do it like this. Tessie, how are you doing? Hope you're doing good. Have you been working on anything fun in the meantime? And we need to create an on submit. That's not a property, of course, my bad. So let's create a function called submit. And this is just gonna allow us to submit new items to it. But now I think about it, we should probably move this already to the Blazor page. Yeah, sure. I should really install my Blazor behind back again. Call this a to-do list. New. No, let's change this. New to-do list component. Tessie says, yes, fine, pretty fine. Had some days off of programming. That's always good. It's good to sometimes have a day off. Oh, this I created the wrong object. Okay, Tessie asks, what does coffee mean, or some coffee mean here? Well, if we go to our app, we improved our loader. It's gonna break entirely right now. So let's fix this before. Otherwise, I won't be able to show it. Submit is there. Why not? Can remove. Just comment this out. Oh, we can comment this out entirely for now, and then we can display it. Tessie, what do you think about the new overlay? I tried integrating Visual Studio in it, but yeah, so our app is not running. We'll be loading indefinitely and get an error. But we added those fun animations, and this was the first one. Just grabbing some coffee while it loads. So that was adding some coffee in our to-do app. We used Luti for this, lutifiles.com. It's pretty easy. You just include the script tag, and then if we yeah, you can find the HTML and can just copy this and place this somewhere good, and then use this one. Oh, not sure what I clicked. Let's copy. Yes, that's the. I have the Twitch chat here. The camera is somewhat integrated, and It now says live in the left corner, and we have the followers there, and my name and my logo. But I'll try to work on a few more things, but those are for the next stream or maybe the one after. If you have any ideas about what we could improve, feel free to post it. So let's create a new component, as the other was a Blazor page, I believe. New to-do list component. Let's paste this here. And let's create a class for this. New item. Class. New to-do. List component .razor.cs. So this allows us to keep it stacks under each other, and we need to make it partial as it's the same class as the one as the Razor page. So let's go here and copy those two as it should be here. Submit doesn't exist in the current context. Let me see here. On submit. That should work. Oh, it's called submit, I believe. Yeah, let's call this on submit. But Tessie, the Twitch isn't in the chat isn't in Visual Studio, as coding for Visual Studio is really annoying. Visual Studio Code is pretty good, but I gave both of them a go, but Visual Studio is pretty hard. But it's just the overlay. So I took a screenshot of Visual Studio and removed a lot of parts, and now and filled in, and now the chat's there. So let's go to-do list dot name. And let's set it on initialize. Sorry, I was just thinking about what the correct one was to do. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. If you have any requests about what we should do, also post them in the chat. Welcome, Lisa Yo-Yo. I already thought that was you, but I wasn't sure. How are you doing? How's the study going? Still acing everything with a 10? So for the ID, why isn't it allowing me? It's oh wait, I need to set the ID is GUID.new GUID. To string, so it's a new one every time. And No, not like make this a page, but make this a page. And let's add the new to-do list component. Sure. And we need to add it to the imports as the other one. So this is the only downside. I don't believe you can wildcard this. To-do list. And let's make it self-closing. That was also one of the errors. So this was the name. So to make sure we can access this page, let's do we can do the add page slash to-do list slash overview. That should work. And now go to our page to make sure it works. To-do list slash overview. Yeah. And let's update it. Let's update this text. New to-do list. So I don't want to recreate the to-do page entirely, as that would be pretty boring. But I'm not a fan of those tables. Well, let's reuse them then anyway. Maybe we can change the colors. Maybe we don't make them rounded or something. But this allows us to copy a lot of the view. So let's create a new item. Eraser component, and let's call this to-do list component. Yeah. Let's remove this. Let's remove this. Let's remove this. Let's add a class to it. Let's add some class to it, yeah. But Little Jojo, how are you doing? You're still acing all your exams? So again, good to hear you're awesome. Back in love now, I see .NET Core. Yeah, what are you using? Python or Java? Back in the days you were using Java, so let's hope you're not using that anymore. Java ugly. Yeah. I'm really happy that I'm using this. And this should have a class. And this should be the parameter. Prop. And this should be the to-do list. Let's call this also to-do list. But Lisa Jojo, is your skill still so hard, or did it relax a little bit because they were really hard then? We can copy this one. We don't have priorities anymore. That's it. Save. Public void on save. It's terrible. All the exams are now online and they have a policy that you need to make 25% of the exam. Impossible to make it believable that you will prevent cheat. Okay, so if you do the 25% correctly, they believe that you're cheating, or what's the clue on that? Let's call this on save to be correctly with the rest. So 75% of the exams is doable, 20% is impossible. So you can't really even score much higher than a 7.5. So do they think you just cheat and get a 7.5 and leave the rest, or what are they trying to do? Let's create a list here, and let's fill it by hand for now. A list of the to-do lists. And I miss you guys. Yeah, if there wasn't Corona, we could hang out again, but that's pretty hard now. And probably the main reason that my uni focused on mainly projects and report-based testing grading. Let's see what we did for the other. Yeah. Copy this here. and remove this. I just needed the flex. And then do the for each for to-do list in to-do lists. To-do list component. And the to-do list is the to-do list. Let's make it self-closing. To-do list component is used. I see. We already had a to-do list component. So let's rename this to the list items. Nevik says, need to go. Thanks for the stream and till next time. Thank you for stopping by and for the follow, Nevik. Really appreciate it. I'm live every Monday and Wednesday from 7 till 10 p.m. Hope to see you next stream. And if you have any questions, feel free to send it on Twitter. To-do list items. And I believe that's only used here. To-do list items. To-do list items component. To-do list items component. Did I make a mistake or is it just not catching up? Does it also give me an error? Yes. The edit and the delete do not exist. That's not... Oh, this is this page. Let's... Wasn't the plan, but let's do that. Yeah, but as long as our build isn't succeeded, it won't work. Otherwise, I'm fine with this error. Maybe it's gone already. Am I blind? I don't see it anymore. Oh, there it was. After installing my Nugget packages, it still couldn't find 3 things anymore, including my shared folder. After restart Visual Studio, it was solved. Yeah, sometimes it does that. It's gotten a lot better, especially with Blazor, but not anymore now. But at the start of Blazor, it was pretty bad. But at least my work PC could still run it. As now it's not anymore. Let's hope I get my new work PC tomorrow. Yeah, let's continue where we left. So we did add this. I believe this should work. And let's also make this a new list. No, wait, this shouldn't be. The overview page should be a new list. Yeah. And let's add one item in it. With the name. This new list is new to-do item. Name is coffee. And we need a semicolon here. So this did work. I believe we removed some styling from this one, but we can still find it here in the new one. I believe we removed that. And I am correct. So let's see if not displaying correctly right now. Did you type coffee fee? No, I typed a coffee. Top is running for president here. Should we storm the Capitol then? Agree that I won? Is this better? The name. Well, you have orange hair. Yeah, but I don't have an orange face. So that's a win. Let me check the chat. I believe that Silly Gnome joined in the meantime. Welcome, Silly Gnome. I really appreciate you being here. And how are you doing? If you ever worked with Blazor or .NET Core or .NET it's called again. Wondering what the next one will be. To-do list. Of course, I need to go. Oh, that explains a lot. If editing, blah blah blah. Let's create two functions for them. Public void on save. On edit. Public void on delete. So we just need to make a on. We needed to make those eventually, so we could do it right now. Coffee edit. Well, that's not working. We also got our pretty buttons again. So let's keep working on that. I believe we need to do a few things. We need to add two parameters, parameter prop, and this one is called the event callback. Yes. To-do list. Get set. Yes, sure. And then on delete. Yeah, sure. On. Let me see what I called the other ones, as I wanna. On delete. Oh, there. That's why I named those. Tessie, I think you have multiple classes called to-do list. Well, that was a problem with I fixed it, but my Visual Studio doesn't agree with me right now. But we can fix that by restarting. Let's do that quickly. So Tessie, what do you think about the new animations for the loading? Let's just wait a few seconds until it's done. Wait, it's giving me this error again. Oh, there's already an on delete. So if you're in the chat and you have any questions about our project, about Blazor or .NET or anything else, feel free to ask them. So this took about well, maybe 30 seconds. On my work laptop this can take up to 5 minutes or even more. So really happy. Dusty says, actually I was doing the same thing, the loading animation, and ended up with bootstrap spinners. Yeah, we had something look-alike. It was also a spinner. Not exactly the same, but close. But I thought it was pretty cool to add some more uniqueness in our application, and if people need to wait, maybe the prefer it more if there are some cool animations to look at instead of a boring spinner. So let's call this edit and delete, and let's go to our razor view. And let's call this delete and on edit. Not on. Like this. Thomas says, yes, Thomas ended up going for making the Logic Nugget package and now it does work. First Blazor application online now. Thanks for the help. Cool. That's your card game, right? And let's have on edit. John says yes. Basic version at least. What's the URL? Maybe we can check it out later. I prefer the on edit to be on delete for some reason. I have no clue what I'm doing. You need to find like patterns or something? Yes, I was too cheap to get my own domain. That's like $20 or something. 10 maybe even. A star with boxes, one with this, and... Oh no, that's not. I have no clue what I'm doing, John. Hey, I won! Nice. Yeah, and they need to be all the same or all different, right? Yeah. So this is red. And now I need to... No, we don't have that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Desi says, that's a cool... That's cool. That is cool domain. Easy to remember, you know? Yeah. Delightful scent. If we every static preview of our static web apps gets one. And let me see. We have agreeable islands. Very good, very agreeable. So let's work further on this. Invoke async. And then the to-do lists. John says, Tessie, yeah, I know, right? I made it for my niece too. All they have to do is save it on the tablet and they will be fine. Yeah, but wouldn't it be way cooler to have like John's Games or something? And then I'm not know how this is called, but starcollector.johnsgames.com. Way cooler. You should buy it. So let's also add on delete. And let's also provide it with our to-do list. So that works. And now the on save. Oh yeah, I'm doing this wrong. We have the on edit that changes just this one. And then we have the on save that saves the application for us or saves the state. Editing dot equals true. And then this isn't a task anymore. And this is now a task again. And editing should be false again. So let's check out if this works. If any of the people on the stream are watching and didn't say hi yet, feel free to do. It's really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. An unexpected error occurred. It doesn't have the right converter. I'm not sure why, but let's see if we can find it. So let's go to our page. We need to bind it to name. This should work now. Let's on edit. He sucks. That sounds pretty good, but to make sure that we use the same ones, they have on delete and on change, so let's also call this on change. On delete equals delete. Let's go to the code. Delete. Let's make the function delete public void delete, and this should have the to-do list. To-do list. I'm not really sure why it's doing it like this and not. I know why it's doing this. No, this is the correct one. Then I don't know. Can we do? Nope. Maybe because the namespace is called to-do list. I believe that makes it a problem. But that's fine. And for now, let's do the to-do list dot remove to-do list. So if this all works, we should be working on making this our Azure function. So if you're interested in that, make sure to keep watching. Delete also works. Hi does. Oh, we don't have the add. That is correct. So let's do that. Not param array, but parameter. Let's create a property called event callback. To-do list. And let's see what we use on this one. On new to-do. On create, let's call it that. I think that sounds a little bit better. So let's do on create dot invoke async, and let's give it the to-do list, and let's create a new to-do list. But also I want to make this a constructor. Let's give it two constructors. One with nothing in it and one with the what I was wanna do, it didn't work, but ID auto mapper is gonna break on that and other stuff. No, let's do it like this. We can copy this line. And now we should implement that on our overview. Public void new. Pressed my shift, but didn't want to register. To do list. To do list. To do list. And let's do to do list dot add. What was it called? Because I like to add them at the start, so insert at the place of 0 and then do the to-do list. Let's hope this works. Welcome. Almost. And I know what I did wrong. We didn't make sure that when that event gets called, this method is getting called. Let's go to the overview and register that event. So on create is new to-do list. Welcome everybody. That works like a charm. So let's let's work on our backend. So let's close this all up. Let's close all those up. And let's make some functions. I have the models open. And let's also add this in a new folder. To do items. John says, you work more cleanly than I do. At the end of the day, I still have like 20 screens open. Well, I have had more, but I also try to keep it organized for you guys, so that's a big part of it. Normally, I don't use the Solution Explorer or the tabs above here too much. I use Ctrl-3 from ReSharper a lot. That lets me type in and press enter to go there. So I'm creating a new folder. Let's move it here. Called to-do list with a S. And I believe we can let's copy most of the implementation, as that's probably gonna be mostly the same. So let's create a new class. John says, yeah, sometimes I just delete all my non-pinned ones when I go to crazy. Also, yeah, I really need to get my ReSharper on my home PC it's too good. Yeah, for me it's the first thing I do. Install ReSharper. Let's see. get to-do list function. That isn't correct. Get to-do list function should be this one, and we should rename this one to get items of to-do list function. And let's go here and get. We use the same constants in the front end and our back end to call those functions. So if we change this, nothing should break. Let's hope that all works out. Get items of to-do lists. Tessie says, that's a game is fun. I finally understand the rules. Any repo to put a star on. John, do you have a link to your repo? And can we ever play multiplayer? I want to take you guys on. And let's also rename this to get items of. John says thanks. It's private, but I'll make it public. Just a second. Yeah. And multiplayers in the future. Cool. I make most of my repos public nowadays. As it just shows that you're active, and as long as you don't want to make it a real project and sell it, I believe everybody should be able to use your code. So we fixed the naming issue. And let's copy all this over. And let's create a public constant string get to-do list function. Get to-do lists. Maybe I'll I want to check something. So if we do a to-do list slash. No, let's keep it this way. We can add the route later. Can you see it? John experimental. Do you also have a John stable or release? Games in Blazor. You have some failed actions. The game is called Set, I think. But cool. If you want to check it out, click the link in the chat. So we created our first function, but we also need a model for it. An entity, sorry. To-do list entity. Well, that wasn't the best name. I hope I don't break a lot of stuff, but we can also clear it as to-do list. Let's call this to-do item to make it cleaner. It may break our database, but I'm not too worried about that. And we use the table entity. Tessie, are you working on something public or just private? Can we take a look? Maybe it's already online. And the to-do list, that's just a name. So maybe we get a few of those over, but that shouldn't be too big of a problem. So let's go to our function. This is all correct. Get client, user. Get to-do item to-do list. If the project, as you said, you were taking a break, but you also worked on the animation of on the loader. Is the project private or is it public? Can we take a look? And what are you working on? Where, yeah. And let's also add it to our models here, the datios. To-do item, new to-do item, datio, and update. Let's again make a folder for this. To-do items. And let's refactor this and move them up. And let's create a folder called to-do lists. Add clause to-do lists datio. The string is the name and the string is the ID. Yeah, that's correct. Tessie, unfortunately, I'm working on a private product for someone. It's not public available, but it's gonna be half a year, I believe. I hope. Pretty cool. Yeah, if it's private, just keep it private. Make sure to send it away when it's done. Be awesome to check out what you're building. So let's go to our auto mapper config, and we also called this one the right one. So call public class to do list pro. I need to profile. And let's move it to the correct place. But now I could copy everything. I'm lazy. Create map. We want a map from the entity. So the to-do list entity to the to-do data. Oh, list data. Nothing special there. Yeah, we do want something special. I'm sorry. I do want something special. Remember. Destination. Destination, not name, equal. No, the name should be correctly as it's just a call. No, wait. Yeah, no, that is correct. For member options, opt that map from source dot Roki. Tessie says, I hate this complicated syntax. What complicated syntax of the automapper? And now we can create a service for this. It isn't too hard if you get used to it. But you need to define the destination. Then they have options, so you can also ignore it or whatever. And then they have a mapping expression for the one you want to call, but I understand why it could be a little bit annoying. It's just getting used to, I believe. If you want, you don't have to use it. Of course. Let's clean this up. So I am gonna grab something to drink again. And I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't forget something to drink, and see you in a second. Hello and welcome back. John said in the meantime, lol, I just grabbed some cup of tea. Then he leaves. Yeah, you should wait until I grab something to drink before you grab something. So we got at the point that we needed to create a service to call the to-do list. And let's also rename this to-do item. Should have thought about this, but luckily with the power of the mighty Visual Studio, we can rename them in a second. So, to-do list service. Public. What did we do in the other one? Just wanna see. Enumerable. Yep. Enumerable. Called to-do list data. Do we use the details here? No, do we use the to-do list? So let's also get all lists. We don't want to give it anything, and we want to inject the HTTP service in this. So let's make a read-only private variable called HTTP service. HTTP service, and let's inject it. Results equals HTTP service dot get async enumerable, and that should be a to-do list data. And we want to here use the function constant dot get to-do list function. So the reason that I want the details here but use the to-do list here is that this keeps it really separate. If we ever call another one that doesn't have this data or something else, we can easily we just replace it at one place, and then it's done. Of course, we should await it. And that's gonna make it an async task. How did we do that here? Oh, we have automapper here already. That's really fortunate. I am wondering why I called it to-do list at some places and to-do item at others. It's good that I don't have to approve my own PRs here, because I would never do that. DTO to-do list DT. To the to-do list. So let's go to the to-do list service and let's also add the imapper mapper. Return results dot no mapper dot map, and we want an enumerable of to-do lists. And let's insert our result. And that should work. So now let's integrate it into our app. So we will go to the to-do list overview component. And we want to go to the CS. And we can remove this. And we will create another protected override for on initialize async. And we also want to inject our newly created service that we didn't create an interface for, so let's do that first. Refactor extract interface. I do wonder if there is an shortcut for it, or if you can create one, as I do use that one a lot. So let's call it to do wait, it should be inject, of course. To do list service. To do list service dot get all lists. That sounds weird, but it's correct. Equals await. And let's make this enumerable, as I don't really care. Yeah, I do care. The rest of my code says I do care. That it is a list instead of an enumerable. So let's make this to list. So the reason I only do to list here and not before is that John asked why not iList. Well, the other day I found out that iList didn't have some functions that the list did have, like to do list dot add range is a function on the list, and if we make this an iList, it didn't have add range. So from that moment I mostly started using list instead of iList, but you can use iList for sure. But most times in my work I never found one use case for the iList. Yeah, I found that also really interesting. I thought they were like the same, but apparently they're not. This should work. Let's fire up our backend and see if it works. An unexpected error. Those are the worst. I only like expected errors. Oh, it's taking a while as the Storage Explorer still needs to boot up. Console. Let's move it down here. Of course, we didn't register our page. Well, the use case, as Robbie explained it to me once, was that iList is more acceptable, thus more preferable, unless you need the list-specific function, like add range. Kind of a speech on using arrays rather than lists if you don't need the add items to do it. I don't think it's the same speech as the reason for arrays is different. The way you read arrays is different, and the way they're stored are different. So that's not exactly the same way. Because if I'm correct, a list when it gets really big. And technically it would take longer. An array would always be the same speed to read it, as it just points to a byte or a part of memory. And Tessie says, yeah, how often do you make your own iList implementation? To be honest, never. At Tessie. In my career, I never made a... Yeah, I did it at school and stuff like that. But if you do that, you use the enumerable, I guess. And most times, if I do want to do something like that, I just wrap it in a class and still use the iList. Because, yeah, I don't need to handle my list myself. So I believe the only time I did it was in school. To learn how they work, and I needed to program on. Let's go to our program and let's add the services that add scoped. Let's add our to-do list service. If anyone in the chat has any request about what they want to see next stream, feel free to post it and I'll check out if I can work something out. To-do line, what is the problem? Not found. Why is it not found? And what is not found? Damn it, I have to sneeze one time every stream, I believe. I'm not sure why, but it is the way. I sound like the Mandalorian right now. Overview component line 5, yeah, that's a different error. We also got a JSON error. But this problem we can also fix. And this is a pretty fun one to fix. Let me scroll up to our component. Let's go to our components. To-do list. Overview component. Dot razor. Because if to-do list equals null, doesn't equal null, we want to display that. Let's add curly braces here, and let's also add them here, because else we want our loader component. Are you talking to me? And I believe we need to add a little bit of CSS around it. Let's grab that of the to-do item components. That isn't the correct one. Let me see. Pages, to-do list. No, not the list, the item. Yeah, let's wrap this around it. And let's mount it again, so it's isn't in the way. I don't know why I pressed Ctrl S, but that S. So now a burger away keeps the stress away. Couldn't agree more. It's not found. First, I wanna let's clear this all. Is our function debugging? Yes, it is. Okay, that explains a lot. Why it was taking so long. So that still works. Let's check our network tab. Response not found. Get to-do lists. Let's make sure this. Just be on the bottom. Localhost.get to-do lists. Not found. Am I blind or am I not seeing something? I'm really not sure what's going wrong here. Oh, it's not containing the API. I'm sorry, guys. That's pretty bad. Yeah. Thank you. it should be. API / plus. Now this should work. Thank you, Tessie, for the suggestion. To-do list services. That isn't good if it's not assigned ever. Let's assign it really quick. And starting, let me hope it works now. Yeah, because that's an annoying error. If it stays. It's not giving me an error, but it's not showing anything. Let's go to our function. Let's open it up. Let's set a breakpoint to make sure that it's getting loaded. Oh, it just needed an enter to keep going. Yeah, sure. Keep going. Define. Stop. Sometimes all the tools don't work together that nice, but sometimes they do, and then it's really a pleasure. Let's refresh. Yeah, that sounds good. Unexpected mapping. Let me see. Did I screw it up? To-do list entity. And to-do list data. Oh. It's not displaying the error. So the mapper is assigned. Yeah, but the list should be automatically be added. Because that's the same way with this one. No, with this one. And this does work. Because AutoMapper figured out how the enumerable worked. Yeah, so that's also a really good point why I use AutoMapper. If, for instance, the to-do item also has... oh, I see it. It's a to-do item and not a to-do list. That's pretty super. But if a to-do list has to-do items in it, it also knows how to map that. As we already configured that in the other mappings. Let's refresh. Oh, it's on a breakpoint. Hi. And test. That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds perfect. Let's work on adding more. So I'm gonna create a new function called add. Oh, didn't want me to name it. Let's call this add to-do list function. And let's also go here and just copy everything and then fix it. To-do list function. Add public. Close this. Tessie said, I had a bit of a trouble to map many to M2N relations. Many to... What's the N? 1? With the DTOs flattening and also back. If you can give me an example, we can look at it. But sometimes... or I'm not good enough, or... oh, many to many. Because you called an N. Not really sure what you tried to do, but... if you can show me some, maybe we can take a look at it together. So let's fix this name. The list function. And let's call this add. And let's create a new DTO for this. Control Alt. So for the people that are using ReSharper and do not know, Shift Alt L will open the Solution Explorer and display the place you're on. Really useful if you're looking for the file or file close to it, or you want to create something in that folder. So let's create a new class called new to-do list DTO. String name. And let's go to the mappings. Do we do a mapping? What did we do here? Yeah. Yeah, do more mapping. Create map. to-do list, new to-do list DTO, to-do entity, and ignore all property. I believe this is allowed like this. I have something in my throat. Let's go here. Why do we have we didn't need the mapping, and although not on the other place, as we're just doing it by hand. Is new to-do list entity, and we can remove those ones. The partition key is again the... Yeah, that sounds amazing. And now we wanna create the service for this, or not create, but add it to the service for this. Public async task to-do list create new add and let's to-do list result equals, oh wait, now let's make this a task. Sorry, I don't want to return this. HTTP server that post async to-do list DTO. No, we want a string because we want to retrieve the ID. We don't do that at the other one, but this allows us to we need the function constant. Sorry, I'm doing two things at the one. And we want the to-do list. And now we want a to-do list that ID equals result. So when we update it, it will automatically have this ID, so we can use that. So let's go to our page. And let's remove the setting of the ID, as that is now useless and not necessarily. Don't need to look, I need to go to the list, sorry. For that. So we can just do this. Try not to break everything. And this doesn't need to be models, it just needs to be to-do lists. I believe we have a new viewer in the chat called What's Letters. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions or just want to say hi, feel free to do that in the chat. It would be really appreciated and really nice to have more people to talk to. So the saving of the ID, I also want to do that on our to do item service. So for the save, not the save. And for the add. Var result equals post async, and let's call this a string. To do item dot id equals result. Now we need to add the function to our task add to-do list. So like this, now we can call it in our component. And so we also want to do this, but we also want to call our to-do list to-do list service dot add to-do list. And we want to await this. So let's make the function async task. If you're in the chat or watching and you enjoy the stream, make sure to say hi. And it would be also greatly appreciated if you hit the follow button to always see when I go live. I go live every Monday and Wednesday from 7 till 10. This one isn't getting called, it says, so let's press this. And let's also define this here. On change, new to-do list. John has a really big story. Do you have experience with passing parameters to a page? I currently have on page. Add page blah blah blah. On the code behind, I have parameter that's string. So you base the part parameter. Yeah, the URL doesn't have ints, it doesn't know them, they're just characters, so they're strings. Yes, correct. As I said before, the page or the URL doesn't know what an int is, it just knows a string. So you just need to parse it in the you can do it in on initialize, you can do it on parameter set. You can also make the setter of the card parameter just only be a setter. So you would do something like this. Let me show it here. So you would have a parameter called public string URL content, something from the URL. And you would have a property. And no, it doesn't want to fix it. Public int URL number. Let's call this number. Let's fix it for yourself. But now you can just say public string URL content. Can you set it? I believe it didn't work. But or do what Tessie does by defining that it is an int. Or you could do something like this. Int dot try parse. And then you would do the value. Of course, I need to do get. I need to do set. And then value, and then you would say out number. You could also do something like this. But as Tessie said, you can use the int. All my pages before were only most of it was on one page. So I never really looked at it, but I believe you. And you should use mark it as an int. Basically, we did do the new one, right? Yeah, let's test if it works. Oh, I got an error. Blazor URL parameters. Let me check this for you. John, it's saying it here. Are you using the same capitals with the int? That's very important. As in, you made a typo. Yeah, then it's not gonna work. That's Oh, our function isn't running yet, so that's not gonna retrieve any list. Oh. Function to do oh. Let us fix that function constants. I thought that was the problem, but add to do function. Yeah, it's still here. List. Now it should work. Thank you, Tessie, for the response to John. Get that up. Now let's refresh this. I don't care about the get anymore, as we already tested that. Let's say Taco Tuesdays. Now it's in. Very good. Coffee week. Because every day of the week you should drink coffee. So now let us add the delete and the updates. And let's also check if the small improvement we did here, we can also remove this breakpoint. And we couldn't remove. Wait, I screwed up some auto mapping. Let me see where it is. To do item entity to unsupported mapping. Are you showing me why? Oh, probably. Oh, now you're crashing entirely. Thank you, Visual Studio. It's error mapping. So it doesn't want to map from this one to this one to this one. Get items. Let's think. To do item. Oh, I deleted something here. Oh, it's this way around. This is for the update. Okay. That should work. To everybody in the chat, if you have any questions or remarks, feel free to ask them. Failed to fetch. Did we run it? Yes, it is running. Refresh. Now it's working. There's still some problems with it, I see. Azure Storage Explorer, so let's check it out. Oh, I can't type, I'm just starting Azure Storage Explorer. So we can see how our database is doing. Just give it a quick second. If you have any questions, this is an amazing time to ask them. But you can always ask them. Let's close this. Dusty, I have. Let's hear it. The animation, Lottie animation, is it better than a GIF? Not sure. Maybe it's smaller as it's JSON. But maybe the library is bigger. I'm not sure about that. But the nice things about it, for example, you could change the height. You can change the speed. It doesn't. But also something like that. So that's you can move it backwards. You can make it loop. You cannot make it loop, and so that's why I like it, and it has a lot of fun. But you can also export it. What's Letter asks, what are you build? Oh, what app is this you're building? So as John posted it, if you go to Todo, that's topdev.com, without the cool animation, it's a to-do app. The reason why is why not? Can be pretty complicated, but we could start really small, so that's really nice. You can just add hello, and let's go what letters. So now you're on the list, but we also have authentication. So I'm logged in right now. So if I go to the logout URL, I automatically get logged out, and I can log in with Twitter, Google, Microsoft, and Facebook. So I believe I was logged in with Google. I'm not really sure, but we should see a different list, as this list is for my Twitter and not for my Google. So if we could go back to the logout and log back in with Google, you would also see that you get a different list. Yeah, and you have edit. You can change the name, the priority, which changes the color. And you can see you're back now. And we also added some animations like this one. And this one. Yeah, no problem at all. We use Azure Static Web Apps, so this hosting is free. And in combination with Azure Functions, and it's baked in. So that's really lovely. Oh, press delete, that wasn't let's re-add you. Make it a high priority. And we're just building it every day a little bit more. I stream every Monday and Wednesday from 7 till 10. I want to clear this all, and oh, I was gonna check why it uses the same table. Create cloud table. Go to the implementation. Okay, so it uses the same table. That's pretty sloppy of me. So let's update it and add up the string with a table name. And let's copy this and call this table name. And now we also need to update our interface. String table name. So this just creates the cloud table for us. I'm not sure why the capital N isn't working. Yep, as John said, from 7 till 10. So Most times I will stop now. I'll just fix this database. I'll keep going next stream, but from now and 3 hours before I start. So if you want to get notified when I go live, feel free to leave a follow. It is greatly appreciated. So now all our functions will be destroyed, as they need this. Save this and remove the unused usings. And let's just go here and add the constants. Maybe we'll try to improve this later. Maybe by passing in the entity for the cloud table you want. Something like that. And let's rename this to Todo item. Todo item. And let's add a new one for the public context string todo list table. Todo list. So if you have any more questions about what we're doing, what's ladder, feel free to ask them. I was wondering, have you ever worked with Blazor or .NET before? And did you do anything cool with it? Orphan or whatever. Yeah, that's fine also. If you have any questions about .NET, feel free to ask them in those streams. And if I'm not online, you can also contact me on Twitter or through Twitch. I work around 40 hours a week with it. Well, actually more, because I try to create a library, do this stream, prepare the stream, and have like work. So I do a lot with it. I wouldn't call me expert, but I do use it a lot. So if you have any problems, feel free to ask me, and I probably can help you or find a way to help you. So now let's check if this works. What do you guys think about my new overlay? I tried including Blazor, or I tried including the stream or the Visual Studio in it. Sorry, I couldn't get my words correct. So let's say hi. What's letter? GP so let's refresh. That all works. Let's check our database. To-do items, they're in here. So in the future we'll be editing those, but for now, not yet. To-do list slash overview. Important tasks. Because who doesn't have important tasks to do? So it should be refresh. Yeah, important tasks. That sounds good. I think I'll keep it at this for this stream. I will be committing all my code to GitHub. If you want to check it out, feel free to check it out there. I wouldn't say that, John, but you're not in the important tasks. You're just in the normal to-do list. So let's give this a high priority. And this, yeah, it's already on low. But if you want to check it out, feel free. If you want to work on it, you're also good to do that. You can do whatever you want with it. If you have any questions, feel free to join in next stream and add them, or on the GitHub or on my Twitter. I go live every Monday through and Wednesday from 7 till 10 CET. So this is the end, so this is 10. So you could 3 hours before this I start streaming. And I hope you all enjoyed and had a wonderful time and maybe even learned something. If so, feel free to say it in the chat. And if you're not following yet, it would be greatly appreciated if you would leave a follow. So you can see when I go live next time. Thank you all for joining and have a great night and weekend.